Welcome to day 1 of 25 days of Celebrity What Happened. Today we will be discussing what happened in this infamous scenario in the elevator. If you happen to be living under a rock and you don't remember this, Solange, Beyonce's sister, and Jay-Z got into an altercation in an elevator after the Met Gala. More specifically, it was after a Met Gala after party in the year 2014. Footage of the elevator altercation without sound was leaked. Now, what was said in the elevator? What were they fighting about? We don't know, but we have some clues and we have some theories. According to People magazine, Solange was provoked by Rachel Roy. Rachel Roy used to work with Jay-Z. She was the creative director for Rockaware. So People magazine alleges by the end of the night, Jay had said something inappropriate to Beyonce and Solange snapped. Soon after the incident, they released a joint statement, the three of them, to the Associated Press, and this is what it had to say. As a result of the public release of the elevator security footage from Monday, May 5th, there has been a great deal of speculation about what triggered the unfortunate incident. But the most important thing is that our family has worked through it. Jay and Solange each assume their share of responsibility for what has occurred, and they both acknowledge their role in this private matter that has played out in the public. They both have apologized to each other, and we have moved forward as a united family. Later in an interview, Solange was asked about it. She doubled down on the statement. She said, "Families fight." So after this, years go by. We never find out what happened in the elevator. We never know why this went down. Then on April 23rd, 2016, Beyonce drops the album Lemonade, where she allegedly turns lemons into lemonade with the Jay-Z cheating allegation thing. And in one of her songs, she talks about Becky with the good hair, where she allegedly talks about Jay-Z cheating, and at the end of the song, she says, he can call Becky with the good hair. The very next day, Rachel Roy posts this on Instagram with the caption, "Good hair don't care, but we will take good lighting for selfies or for self-truths, always. Live in the light. Hashtag no drama queens." Naturally, this set the internet on fire. So much so that people mistaken it for Rachel Ray and also were blowing up Rachel Ray's comment section. So then she catches a lot of flack for this, so she deletes the Instagram post and says, quote, "I want to put the speculation and rumors to rest. My Instagram post was meant to be fun and lighthearted. It was misunderstood as something other than that. There's no validity to the idea that the song references me personally. There's no truth to the rumors." Now, I don't know the origin of people accusing Gwyneth Paltrow as being Becky with the good hair, but that was also a thing, which she immediately shut down and said was not true, and also insisted that they are still friends. But what happened in that elevator? We'll never know. If you want to watch the elevator clip, followed by Wendy Williams' entire breakdown, which is absolutely hilarious, and also watch them leave the hotel and get in separate vehicles, because when they left that elevator, they split up. Jay-Z got in a different car, and Solange and Beyonce got in their vehicle. You can go to my YT channel, because I have a video where it's continuous and you can watch it all together. But more importantly, what do you think happened in that elevator? It's day 2 of Celebrity What Happened. Today we're going to be talking about who released the tape. There's always been a lot of speculation on who released the tape, so we're going to go through it. In February 2007, the tape was released. Kim Kardashian actually sued the people who released the tape. The owners of the tape were Vivid Entertainment. She sued them for invasion of privacy, and she wanted the profits and ownership of the tape. She ended up dropping the lawsuit and settling with them for $5 million. Now, there's been a lot of allegations that she helped release the tape along with her mother, Kris. They have denied that. Now, when this book came out, the author of this book was alleging Kris and Kim knowingly leaked the tape to try to get her famous, saying something along the lines of, Paris told her, if you want to be famous, this is how you do it. Not long ago, Ray J got on Instagram Live and showed a lot of receipts from his emails and his text messages, also alleging that Kim and Kris orchestrated the leak along with him. If you want to watch any of these, they're on my Tube app. And more recently, Caitlyn Jenner has been interviewed for a documentary about the Kardashians, and Caitlyn did not deny or confirm very much, saying, to be honest with you, I just stayed out of it. Kris never talked to me about it. I never talked to Kimberly about it. I don't know what happened or why it happened. She added in that she didn't want to know what was going on. She buried her head in the sand and went to the golf course, insisting that she never once had that conversation with them. So who do you think released the tape? Were they in on it or no? Welcome to day 3 of Celebrity What Happened? Who is the actress in Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version of the song? I asked her in the bathroom what happened. And lucky for us, this lovely person at Cosmopolitan magazine did a whole write-up on it and did all the digging for us. You already heard them, but here are the lyrics. Okay, so everybody's first theory was Jennifer Aniston because of a Jennifer Aniston interview in 2011. She had said that she gave Taylor Swift some love advice, but here's the catch. Context is important. And the context of this interview was about the press being in your relationship. So really, I feel like this probably wasn't the person. Second theory was Anne Hathaway, who also did an interview, this time with Glamour magazine, where she said this. She just seems to be following her heart. I met her. I hope it's okay to say this. When she and Jake were together, she was 20 at the time, and we hung out one night. I was like, you're a magnificent creature. She was on fire, and I've watched her become this force of nature. Hung out where? A party? Possibly in a bathroom? And the third theory was Maggie Gyllenhaal, Jake's sister. So the reason why people thought this was because Taylor Swift had spent Thanksgiving with his family at some point. I think they said the year was 2010. And so people were assuming maybe this was in the bathroom of a family party. However, she says, I left my scarf at your sister's house. Why would she call her your sister in one part of the song and then an actress in the other, like she's a stranger? But because we are so lucky and Andy Cohen is a grace from God, he asked Maggie Gyllenhaal about the scarf. And she responded that she had no idea what anyone was talking about. Sure. I will put the link to this clip if you want to watch it, plus the link to the Cosmo magazine article on my stories on the gram. But more importantly, what do you think happened here? Who is the person? Who is the person in the song? I need to know who the actress is. Tell me all your guesses right now. In the context of what we're talking about right now, the scarf doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. But I just saw this today. Pop Crave just posted this today. So this is a fresh new theory for me that the actress in the All Too Well song really could have been Jessica Chastain. It says they bonded at the 2011 Met Gala, which is around the same time that all of this would have been happening. She was so sweet. I just went through a breakup and I was talking about that. And you know, we went and danced together. It was just such a fun night. This is the next day, she got an email from iTunes and it said Taylor Swift. So she thought it was like the Taylor Swift album, but turns out it was a handmade breakup playlist that Taylor had made her. Okay? And they're still friends. So was she the actress? Because now I'm starting to feel like she was. And I have literally never heard this story before. And I looked up tons of stuff about this before I did that other video. So I'm like, this story is new. This story is fresh. Fresh to me. New to me. And honestly, kind of feels like the most plausible. What do you think? You hear that? That chord is D7. Welcome to day 4 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened. Today we're going to be talking about this Charlie Puth tweet that is now deleted about his song Attention allegedly being about Selena Gomez. Or was it about Bella Thorne? So you may or may not know that Selena Gomez was linked to Charlie Puth around 2015-ish, shortly after breaking up with Bieber. And in 2016, they released a song together called We Don't Talk Anymore. We don't talk anymore. You know what I mean? So once this tweet got deleted, everybody started to remember that there was an interview in 2017. And in the interview, he talks about the song Attention, and he talks about it being about this woman, and he doesn't say who the woman is. But here's the story. We would be talking in the hotel. She'd be like, do you want to sleep over? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get it in. And then nothing would happen, which is totally fine. But after like the 5th time of that happening, I knew what she was doing. I knew she was trying to make me so embedded in her that I would never leave her. I would never get what I wanted out of her. So she was doing that repetitively just to get something out of me, which is to be attached to her hip at all times. So initially people thought it was about Bella Thorne because it was released shortly after he had a fling with her. So fans say that at some point he denied that it was about Bella Thorne. I couldn't find any interview where he denied it, but I'm not saying it's not there. I just couldn't find it. So apparently a lot of people have said it. I don't know if it's true. So then naturally the only other person people thought it was Selena Gomez because he was linked to her around the same time. And because one time on stage at a concert, he allegedly said this about Justin Bieber. There's been a lot of rumors that Selena's response to all that was the song Kinda Crazy. Again, don't know if there's any validity to that. Many people also speculated that in his music video for the song How Long, that this was Selena Gomez. And the reason why they thought that because of this photo. So, what do you think about that? So if attention is about what we think it's about, then what is it about? Is it about Selena Gomez? Tell me what you think about that right now. This is day 5 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened, and today we are talking about who was the woman in Scott Disick's bathroom on the Kardashian vacation in 2017. If you haven't already seen this clip, I will post it on my gram, but I'll give you a rundown of what happened. The Kardashians went on a family vacation. Scott and Kourtney weren't together at the time. Scott had a woman in his suite, and Kim finds out because she sees a purse on the table. The woman is locked in the bathroom. Kim was going to leave and then changes her mind, comes back, ends up confronting the woman and lets her know that she has to leave and security would be escorting her out. Now, there's been a lot of speculation of who was in the bathroom. Here's some shots I was trying to get to see if we could figure out what hair color the person was to help us with the clues. This was the best shot of the blurred face that I could come up with. And then there was this arm picture. Okay? Theory 1 was Bella Thorne. And the reason why people had this theory was because Scott and Bella were seen at LAX together and paparazzi took photos of them. Now, Scott has said that he used Bella to get Kourtney mad, and Bella has said that she never did anything with him. You know, like did anything with him. So she has denied being in the hotel room. Recently, someone has re-brought this up, and then there was this that came out on Dumois that basically said it wasn't Bella Thorne. It was someone else that Scott went to high school with that is now a model. Since we're sleuthing, I think it's important to note that the Kardashian episode aired May 2017. The article that I saw about these two at LAX was October 2017. So I don't know when the Kardashians filmed that episode. It's hit or miss. It could perfectly align or it could be way off. So if it was the model that he's known since high school, that would be Bella Banos. And by the way, if I said her last name wrong, that's none of your business or mine. I mispronounce things. But they've known each other nearly their entire lives. Take note, she has really dark hair. And I couldn't find any photos of her having any other hair color than this hair color. So Bella ends up confessing this to the Daily Mail and says that she was the one in the bathroom. But people were still skeptical on whether or not it really was her because they thought they saw light-colored hair, not dark-colored hair. Exhibit A. Looks like light hair with dark roots. Which leads me to Theory 3, Larsa Pippen. Lots of people thought it was Larsa Pippen. And the reason that they thought this was in 2020, Kim and Larsa stopped being friends. Now, Larsa's been pretty open about why they stopped being friends. She said it had to do with the Kanye divorce. Another reason why people thought it was Larsa was because when Kim opened the door to the bathroom, it seemed personal. Because she said, "What are you doing here?" Like she knew who she was. I think if that was the case, in 2017 is when their friendship would have ended and not 2020, because why wait 2 years to be mad about something? My money's always been on the girl he knew since high school, but the hair in this photo has me questioning it. I don't know. What do you think? Whose arm is that? Which Bella was it? Was it neither? What do you think? This is my Roman Empire. I know they dated around a similar time period, but I don't think it's her, and I'm going to tell you why. I didn't show this in my original video because I don't really have like a way to vet it, but this is supposed to be like leaked footage from the show that shows the girl leaving the hotel. Okay, so pay attention to the sleeve. The sleeve looks exactly the same as that top. So one of the other theories is that this could possibly be Ella Ross. She also dated Scott in 2017. And if you notice right here, she's holding this purse. This was only like, I think, a couple months after that episode aired. And this is the purse they saw. And that triggered them to think that somebody was there in Scott's suite. I have a couple photos of it. Now, this is a very popular bag, especially if you have some money. But that bag sure looks the same. Here's a close-up so you can like really take a look. But I'm pretty sure that bag is the same. So I don't know, did we crack the case? Was the girl in the bathroom actually Ella Ross, but like Bella Thorne has just been getting dragged for it for years? You tell me. Welcome to day 6 of Celebrity What Happened? Today we will be talking about this Miley Cyrus tweet from 2013 when she tweeted at her dad, Billy Ray, and then deleted it 5 minutes later and then replaced it with this instead, which by the way is still up. Now you may be asking yourself, who is this woman in this photo? And I am going to tell you. This is Dilys Croman. Between November 5th, 2012 and December 23rd, 2012, these two were on Chicago Broadway. So what exactly was Miley insinuating here? That maybe Billy and his co-star possibly had a little bit of a side thing? A situationship, if you will? Miley's tweet is June 24th, 2013, and Tish had just filed for divorce on June 13th. And I just want to know what happened there. What was that about? What happened there? Do you, I can't even believe I'm going to ask, think she got hacked on Twitter? Do you think so? Do you think so? On the 7th day of the series, your nosy friend gave to you Ben Affleck's ex-nanny wearing Tom Brady's rings. So the New York Post blew this story up in August of 2015 when this photo was leaked of Ben Affleck's ex-nanny wearing all of Tom Brady's Super Bowl rings. So according to that article, Ben, Jennifer Gardner, the kids, and the nanny were on vacation in the Bahamas. And Ben allegedly convinced her to go to Vegas for a poker tournament on his private jet. Allegedly, Jen didn't know. They went and scooped up Tom Brady. They all fly together on the private plane to Vegas. Then, according to the article, they get back home. Jen freaks out. They split for the first time, and she fires the nanny. Wild ride. But what I want to know is why was Tom Brady carrying around all of his Super Bowl rings? Hey, I have all my Super Bowl rings. You want to wear them for a photo? What? What happened on that private plane? I need to know all the details. I'm back! This is day 8 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened? What happened with this Olivia Wilde salad dressing rumor? And did Jason lay on the ground outside her car so that she couldn't drive away to deliver the salad dressing? When Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis were separating, she was allegedly seeing Harry Styles. Their nanny went to the press and said a lot of things, but the thing we're going to talk about today is that Olivia Wilde allegedly made a very special salad dressing, and Jason got very, very upset when she was making it for Harry and was going to go deliver it to him, make him a salad and deliver him a salad. The rumor was he was so upset that he went and laid on the ground in front of her car so she could not drive away. At some point, Olivia went on her Instagram and she shared the actual salad dressing, which, by the way, I have had before this even. I've had this dressing and it's very, very, very good. Is it lay outside on the ground in front of somebody's car good? No, you could make it yourself. It's really easy to make. That is, of course, if he laid on the ground. outside his car. But who would make up such an outrageous rumor unless maybe there was a tiny bit of fire where there was some smoke? What do you think happened? It is day 9, and today we're going to talk about what happened when Azealia Banks allegedly got locked in Elon Musk and Grimes' house. So August 10th, 2018, Azealia Banks allegedly goes to Elon Musk and Grimes' mansion in LA. She was going to record some music with Grimes that they had been talking about doing for a very long time. Except Elon and Grimes allegedly leave her in the home and go to DEF CON together. By the 11th, she is on Instagram stories telling everyone what's going on and saying a lot of wild stuff. Here's some of the crazy stuff that she was saying. You can pause to read it. But this is really where it all began. Literally been sitting at Elon Musk's house alone for days, waiting for Grimes to show up to start these sessions. I have no idea when she's coming back. I'm going to wait one more day and then I'm going home. Then she says this about her time there. She truly went on and on and on and on. At some point, she even wrote this letter. As you can see, this had escalated to August 19th. She also talked about having to get an attorney because Elon got an attorney, allegedly. And every time Elon's name comes up, I think about this incident and I think, what happened? What happened in that studio? What happened in August 2018? What happened? I gotta know. We made it to day 10 of 25, and today we are going to talk about what happened in the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show when Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake performed together. That was a mouthful. Yes, this halftime show. So just a quick recap, just in case you don't know what happened here. They were dancing, they're singing, I'm going to have you at the end of this song, and then at the end, he rips it off and exposes her. The big scandal was it planned or was it not planned? Now, obviously, immediately after this happened, people freaked out. And the NFL, the Super Bowl people, whoever they are, they were like, mistake, that was a big mistake. That was not meant to happen. Everybody was sticking to their story. It felt very planned. It felt very rehearsed. Even here, it kind of looks like it was rehearsed. But if you look at this photo, that looks like a person who's scared. That's feeling not rehearsed. Okay, and because of the guidelines, I can't actually show you, but I did draw you this photo. Basically, this thing was there. It was there, right? And you know what was in the middle. I don't have to explain it. All of this gray is like a metal. It was like a metal pasty. Leaving the question, if this was a mistake, why was there a pasty on? Now, in April of 2021, celebrity stylist Wayne Scott Lucas said that Justin Timberlake planned this, that he wanted to upstage Britney with the whole Madonna kiss thing. He called this thing the Sunburst Shield. And USA Today in 2018 kind of corroborated this story because they reported that Lucas was seen buying this. So her stylist was seen buying this allegedly. And he allegedly told the artist he purchased it from, quote, okay, watch the halftime show. There's going to be a surprise at the end. So the 2018 article about him purchasing the Sunburst and then his statement in 2021 kind of contradicts what he was saying in 2015, which was, I had no idea. I was not aware that he was going to do that. Which is it, Wayne Scott Lucas? Which is it? At the time, Janet Jackson's team said, oh no, he was supposed to do that, but he was just supposed to show this red bra. But whoops, accident. Starburst. Now, a little fun fact, Alexander McQueen actually made this outfit for her. And when Janet Jackson went on Good Morning America, she said, I don't blame Alexander McQueen. He's not the one that ripped it. He's great at what he does and he's a genius. Now, also in 2018, it was allegedly revealed that Janet Jackson asked Marcelo Garçon to alter the outfit. And that before he could do the alterations to make this possible, he had to sign an NDA. So what do you think? Was this planned or was this not planned? We made it to day 11 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened. And today we are going to be talking about this armchair expert episode with Jonathan Van Ness. Now, if you don't already know, there's controversy around this episode. Allegedly, JVN went back and forth with Dax Shepard while recording the podcast, and whatever happened made him incredibly upset and even made him cry. Now, unless he says something, we're likely never going to find out what exactly Dax Shepard said that made him so upset. He's been fairly tight-lipped about it. He went on a few podcasts, one being Not Skinny, Not Fat with Amanda Hirsch. And he talked a little bit about it, but basically said he wasn't allowed to be a part of the editing, which made him upset. And also kind of confirmed that it was edited in a way to take his portion and responsibility out of it. If you listen to the episode, it sounds like JVN is just talking on a very long rant and you don't ever hear what the other person is asking or saying. Now, if you listen to Armchair Expert pretty regularly, then you know this is unusual for an episode not to have a lot of Dax interjections. He's always playing devil's advocate. So to listen to this and have all that be absent is very sus. JVN joked around that it felt like he was talking to his dad, but Dax did not face a lot of backlash for this. And I am just so curious. What did he say on that podcast? And why are we just cutting it all out and pretending it never happened? Also, I would like to say, if you listen to this podcast and you know at the end there's a fact check, and the fact check basically said all his facts were correct. Not a single one was wrong, which makes it even more curiouser. What were they talking about, and what was he saying was wrong that really wasn't wrong? Tell me if you heard about this. Welcome to day 12 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened. And today we're going to talk about Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie and how they had a little friend breakup, if you will. Seems like they're friends again and they squashed the beef. This was kind of a while ago, but let's unpack it. 2005, these two have a friend breakup and nobody knows what happened. And Paris is quoted saying, "It's no big secret that Nicole and I are no longer friends. Nicole knows what she did, and that's all I'm ever going to say about it." And that's exactly what happened. That's the only thing she ever said about it. Now, according to Medium.com, there was a huge rumor that in February of 2005, Nicole was allegedly hosting an SNL after party and that she played Paris's tape, if you know what I mean, for everyone at the party. And then the rumor was Paris was allegedly pretty upset about that, as anyone would be. Now, it's important to note that Nicole Richie denied this ever happened, but what happened then? What happened then? This is day 13 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened? And today we're going to ask ourselves, who was in the car with Terrence J? Terrence J, he was a BET host, and this was his girlfriend at the time in 2018, Jasmine Sanders. 3 a.m., him and a woman get in a car crash. The woman is allegedly driving. It was assumed his girlfriend was driving the car. It says they hit a parking meter. That looks like a tree. I don't make the rules. Allegedly, there were eyewitnesses that say she was driving and he was in the passenger seat. The car was registered to him. After the wreck, it says they left the scene, so it was a hit and run. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they didn't drive away. That's got me asking, I'm sorry, what happened? The next day, they update all the news articles to say, update, she's denying she was in the car. She says it wasn't her. So, was she saying it wasn't her because she wanted to get out of it? Because now that was a hit and run. Was it someone else? Was it a different woman that just looked like her? And whatever ended up happening? I need to know. It's been several years now. Welcome to day 14 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened? What happened to Sophia Nur? Do you know who Sophia Nur is? Sophia Nur is a Canadian woman who essentially fleeced and robbed a bunch of influencers for about $11 million. This happened in 2021. And then she got caught because all of them got together in a Twitter Spaces, which is kind of like a group audio situation, and they all told their side of the story until they figured out that they were being scammed. Now, I think there were a bunch of times that these spaces broke out and people were talking and trying to figure out the story, but this is the only one that I could actually find. I'll actually move so you can see everyone. I put the screen recording of this on my YouTube, so if you go over there, you can look at it. It looks like this. It's about 34 minutes long, and it starts out with them just straight up yelling at each other. So it's not super easy to find a lot of information about it, but I did find a few articles that kind of broke it down. It was so hard to follow the timeline. But it seems like they found her out November 18th, 2021, when they got together and did this Spaces talk. Here's just a quick couple like influencer names that were involved, Jeff Wittick being one of them. But it seems like what she was doing was she was like lying to get people to like buy her things, and then she wouldn't pay them back. And then she was also like asking for loans and also not paying them back. Plane tickets with no reimbursement. And then in addition to that, she had some of them convinced that she was pregnant with Jack Harlow's baby. And yes, this is the Jack Harlow I'm talking about, which Jack Harlow has never made a public comment about it. He just kind of ignored that it happened. In addition to that, a woman claiming to be her cousin did like a 19-thread story about how she like robbed their family of money. So she's scamming. The scammer be scamming. So they found her out, but like she just disappeared. Like, where did she go? What happened to her? We haven't heard nothing in like a few years. Also, if you want to read about this, I'll throw this Rolling Stone article into my Insta story. I'll see you tomorrow. It is day 15 of 25 by the skin of my teeth. I almost didn't make it. But here we are, and we are going to talk about Cole Sprouse. More specifically, we are going to talk about the Cole Sprouse Tumblr page. So on September 26, 2012, he starts this Tumblr page, and he names it Culture Concepts, spelled like coal. And basically fans just ask him questions and he answers them. I mean, they're all like a little bit bizarre. Like this one, he answers back, hiss, haha, no, that's fine, of course. I think he's saying hiss and not his. I don't know. So lots of people started talking about this. Like LiveJournal had like a community and they had like a gossip portion of the community and they were like talking about this all the time. And here's where it gets bizarre. On November 18th, he posts this photo and then he deletes his Tumblr account. And his last message is basically saying that this was a whole social experiment. Okay? The whole page was a social experiment. Of what kind? Then he takes to Twitter. Well, the Tumblr results are in. I suppose I've given this enough time to fester. 1. The goal was to see how a group of people reacted to a suggestion of being observed. Some of you guessed this. Good job. 2, I never actually stated you guys were a part of an experiment or project. Go back and read the final post. 3, you guys forgot about everything I said in my previous post, jumped to conclusions, and changed your disposition to me. Interesting. 4, even if I did conduct a report on this, which I'm not, you think I would do it without your permission? I love you too much. Not really. 5, you guys reacted exactly how I thought you would, gaining nothing from what I said and acting like I betrayed you. Success and shame. 6, I don't know you. You don't know me. People have the capability of being nice and mean. Don't blindly follow someone. 7, I had fun. I hope you did too. We laughed. We even cried tears of a baby angel. So remember the good, not the bad. P.S. I will not be making another Tumblr. All the people who say they're me are lying. Endless rage. Cole M.W. Sprouse. And then I realized I might actually be evil. What happened? What was that? Huh? What? We made it to day 16 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened. And today we're talking about Mary-Kate Olsen and Heath Ledger's connection. Okay, so I don't think anyone really knew anything about this connection until Heath Ledger passed. And then obviously there was an investigation, and in that investigation, some things came out. Most of this information came from a New York Times article. So Heath was found by his masseuse. But before calling 911, she called Mary-Kate Olsen. Now, the rumor is Heath had Mary-Kate Olsen on speed dial. I do not know if that's true. That part is a rumor. Now, it says she dialed her in California, so I think she was out of town. Now, her alleged statement is she knew they were friends, and that is why she called her. So the alleged conversation with Mary-Kate goes like this. She calls, she tells her that he's unconscious. And Mary-Kate says that she will call security and then call her back. I do not know the time frame in between this, but this was clearly not happening fast enough for her because she calls Mary-Kate back and allegedly informs her that she's gonna dial 911. Now, after the police report comes out, it turns out she called her 3 times for a total of 9 minutes. And that's before calling paramedic. Now, police allegedly say it really doesn't matter because he had passed before the masseuse ever got there. By the time the police show up, Mary-Kate's security guards kind of show up around the same time. And the cops did say that everybody cooperated. Everyone that was there talked and gave all the information. But why? why would she talk to her for 9 minutes before calling 911? Why? So 2 rumors to note. One, there was a rumor that Mary-Kate allegedly owned his apartment and was renting it to him. I think that's just a rumor, and that is not true. Access Hollywood said, quote, neither Mary-Kate nor Ashley own any apartments in the building where Heath was. Now, according to People magazine, the second rumor is that they were hooking up, casually dating for 3 months, but neither of them made it serious. Again, why did she call her? Why did she call her? Also, the Olsen twins are so elusive. We know nothing about their lives. We also probably don't need to, so. Welcome to day 17 of 25, and today we're going to be talking about what happened between Hillary and Haley Duff. This scandalous rumor situation actually started right here on TikTok. So in 2021, someone takes to TikTok and they say, I noticed that Haley and Hillary Duff are feuding because they are not liking any of each other's posts on social media. So it's pretty well known that Haley and Hillary Duff, they would just like each other's posts a lot and comment on each other's stuff on Instagram. Now, I wasn't there, but fans were saying that Hillary would like every single one of Haley's posts. And then all of a sudden in 2021, ceased. And again, I wasn't there, so it could just be a rumor because I cannot fact check this. Allegedly, they also unfollowed each other. So although the fight itself is a complete mystery and we'll never know, which good for them. Good for them. They kept it completely out of the public. But there is a happy ending because they now follow each other. And so the feud must be over. That being said, I am going to tell you the rumor on allegedly why they were feuding, but we don't know if this is true. This is another rumor. There are a few articles that say it might have been a political thing. That Haley might have been a little conservative, Hillary a liberal, and, this one's falling Candace Owens or something, allegedly, and that they possibly were not getting along over that. Another rumor that it could have been because of COVID. They just weren't seeing each other a lot, which to me wouldn't really explain the unfollowing thing. But anyway, I'm glad the gang is back together. But the nosy person that lives inside me is what happened? You could just tell us a little bit. We made it to day 18 of 25, and now we're going to get to talk about the Paula Abdul plane crash, alleged plane crash, that happened in 1992. Okay, so Paula Abdul in 2003 started telling people that she was in a plane crash in 1992 while she was on tour. But the math just kind of wasn't mathing with the fans, and people started to be like, this plane crash never happened. So much so that Investigation Discovery literally did a whole write-up on it, and this is it. So the story goes, she was flying from St. Louis to Detroit, and one of the engines blew and went on fire on a small 7-seater private plane. She said she was the only person not wearing a seatbelt, and she hit her head as they were going down on a crash landing in a cornfield in Iowa. Paula says she then had to take off 7 years to recover because she had to get 15 spinal surgeries because she was partially paralyzed. In one interview, she says she blacked out. When she woke up, she was outside of the plane with the other passengers and that the plane was in a ball of fire. Now, as you can see in the header of this ID Discovery article, they literally have no record of this. They found nothing. It even says they contacted the FAA and they have no record of the crash. And that the only way they wouldn't investigate a crash is if it was minor and it was just an incident. They would never not investigate a fiery crash. Now, I didn't stop there. I found a forum for pilots who have talked about this before. And the only opinion I want on this is a pilot. But there happened to be one pilot that just did all the legwork, everything. This pilot literally cross-referenced her tour dates. And he's like, look, something definitely happened because she canceled 4 to 5 tour dates from June 11th through June 18th of 1992. And then the next show she went to was June 23rd in Spokane, Washington. But she kept consistent until the tour's conclusion, August 7th, 1992. So if she was in a crash that left her partially paralyzed, then how did she go back on tour after just missing 4 shows? The pilot goes on to say the details don't make any sense. Why would someone already in Phoenix on June 8th or 9th be in St. Louis for any reason when a show is scheduled for June 10th near Denver, yet magically perform in Denver on the evening of June 10th after a plane crash on the way to Denver, and then abruptly cancel all their shows after that for 2 weeks? So NTSB is the database that they could look this up, and they're saying there's no record. So I don't know. What happened? It is day 19 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened. Now, we're about to talk about someone today that actually isn't like a celebrity, but it's like a celebrity mystery type thing. And that is Gigi, also known as Girl Gang, also known as Girl Gang 773, also known as allegedly Aaron. There was many Instagram handles. There was also a podcast. There was Blind Items. There was tea. I say tea like this because I don't know if it was real. Now, I followed one of these accounts, but not from the beginning, so I definitely missed stuff. But according to Reddit, she helped leak Randall's cheating scandal when Randall cheated on Lala. I don't know if that's true, okay? But I had to tell you about it. So around the time I started following this account, it was also a podcast, and they were like supposedly going to expose like a large group of influencers. Never dropped any names. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think she also like covered a little bit of like a Teddy Mellencamp scandal. I remember something vaguely about that. Then she announced a pregnancy, and then towards the end of that pregnancy, like in the 9-month mark, just straight disappeared off the internet. Deleted TikTok, deleted Instagram, disappeared. Became a ghost. Then in a crazy turn of events, the alleged baby daddy comes out and says the baby was never real. She faked the whole thing. She's a pathological liar. He had receipts. This is one of the texts. He had lots of text. Then people start digging and they compare notes and they find out the ultrasound she posted on Instagram was one that was purchased off of Amazon. Allegedly, of course. And then that was it. Poof, she was gone. Although there are some rumors that she runs some current accounts that we all know, but they're rumors. Just becomes another social media mystery to add to the pile. What happened? Oh, also, she sold the Instagram account and it got turned into something else. And the girl did a Q&A on there and she was just like, yeah, I don't know. She sold me the account. I bought it. It has a lot of followers. And now this is what we're doing here. So I don't know. There's your bedtime story. Good night. We somehow made it to day 20 of 25. And today we're going to be talking about Richard Simmons missing. When was the last time you heard about Richard Simmons? I think the best place to start is this podcast that came out in 2014 called Missing Richard Simmons. If you did not listen to this podcast when it came out, I highly recommend it. But I'll give you a little recap. So Richard Simmons used to teach classes at a gym, his own gym, called Richard Slimmons. Obviously, he had like regulars that would come to these classes. And one day, he just stopped showing up. And he cut out all his closest friends and he just disappeared. Everyone became very alarmed and they thought his housekeeper was like holding him captive in his house. So the podcast comes out. After the podcast airs, it gets a lot of traction. Richard comes out and says, leave me alone. I'm fine and I'm not being held captive. I don't want to do what I've been doing for the last however many years. I want to do something new and I'm going to stay at my house. Paraphrasing, of course. I'm telling you, listen to the podcast. Some time passed after that. And then last year in 2022, TMZ puts out like some sort of documentary where they do like a deep dive on what's going on with Richard Simmons. Disclaimer, I did not watch it. So the TMZ documentary allegedly says that he is held up in his home due to a painful ailment that he has been battling since birth. An alleged birth defect that significantly affects one of his legs. Quote, he was born without a full set of bones in his foot and it causes physical and emotional problems. So it kind of feels like we got a conclusion to that mystery. And we do know that he's safe because LAPD has done a welfare check on him and they said he was relaxed, articulate, and lucid. The only impairment they noticed is a slight limp in his knee. They also added that he wanted to be remembered as vibrant and healthy, not an elderly man with medical problems. So I don't even think we need to ask what happened here. But he basically hasn't been seen in public in over 9 years. And that is wild. Hey, it's day 21 of 25 of Celebrity What Happened. I can't believe we made it this far. Are you sad that it's almost over? Do you know what we're going to be talking about today? Okay, I'll tell you. Leah Remini and J-Lo. Are they still friends or are they not? You know what we're seeing here? A 14-year-long relationship. These two met in 2004 and they met because they were introduced by Mark Anthony. And they've been together ever since. Or have they? Now, these two were not shy about their friendship, okay? We got blended families going on, okay? We're We're going out. We're hanging out. We're on the strip. We are making movies together. We are making movies together in 2018, okay? Now, the first we hear about a possible friend breakup, a possible feud, is Leah doesn't go to the Ben and Jen wedding, stating her daughter was preparing to leave for college, so she just couldn't make it a few hours to hang out with her best friend of 14 years, despite getting married to the love of her life. And if you've been following me for a while, even I speculated, what is going on? Are these two not friends anymore? What happened? Was there a fight? Some speculated that maybe she had a loyalty to Mark Anthony and she didn't like that Jen was marrying Ben, so maybe it was that. But there was no proof. And really, since then, we haven't seen them together. No photos, no appearances, nothing. No pap shots. Now, Leah's other friend, who's like her bestie, is Michelle. And Michelle was on this podcast. It was actually a live show recording of this podcast. Now, during this live recording of this podcast, they're sitting on the stage, they're talking. Matt and Bowen are talking about the movie that Leah and J-Lo were in together. And one of them says, they're best buds, right? And then allegedly she makes some sort of face. The person laughs, like, nervous laugh. And then she says, no comment. Now, I'm going to play it for you. It's hard to hear because it's almost like the background of another conversation. But I also slowed it down for you. And I also put captions on it. And then I also put the whole clip on the Tube app, just in case you want to listen to it a few more times to see, what was that? I'm sorry, what? No comment?
All I want to is for her to be in more things, because second act.
I never saw it.
Okay, second
J-Lo
act.
are best buds, right?
Second act was my favorite movie of the year because
No
this
comment.
happened.
She and J-Lo are best buds, right?
Second act was my favorite movie of the year because this happened.
So I don't know. Are they fighting? No comment. I'm not sure. Are they fighting? What was the fight about? What was the fight about, though? What was the fight about? What was that fight about, though? Welcome to day 22 of 25, submitted for the approval of my nosy friends. I call this story The Mystery of Natalie Wood. So if you don't know who Natalie Wood is, Natalie Wood was an actress. She was in the West Side Story. She was in Miracle on 34th Street. And she was also once married to Robert Wagner. In November of 81, she was on this yacht with her husband and Christopher Walken, and she drowned in the ocean. Her and Christopher Walken were co-stars on this movie called Brainstorm, and they were about to do another one. So when Wagner called the police, this was the story. They had a dinghy that would take them back and forth from the yacht. And they went to dinner on the dinghy. And then they came back to the yacht, and she went to bed. Then allegedly, whenever he went to sleep, she wasn't in the room, and he noticed the dinghy was gone. So he immediately phoned the police because she can't swim. And that's when they find her in the ocean. Now, obviously, they questioned Wagner. There were witnesses that had heard them arguing and possibly her shouting for help. Also, some accounts say she was like wearing a full fur coat and like a nightgown underneath. Also, the more you dig into this story, he allegedly like waits 2.5 hours to like look for her when she goes missing on the boat. But then I guess they don't have anything, so nothing ever happens. Now the original guy working the case, he passes away, a new person takes over, and they look into it deeper. Turns out she had signs that she had been in some sort of altercation before entering the water. Then now it's like decades now, and some like more information has come out, and there was a person that heard him yell, "Get off my effing boat." Now with Christopher Walken, pretty radio silent on that end. So I think Wagner is now like 93 years old, and Christopher Walken is 80, but we're never gonna know what actually really happened, because no one's gonna tell us, even though there was like 3 other people on board because someone was driving the boat. What happened? We are on day 23 of 25, and today we are going to be discussing the feud between Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. I hope you can keep up. There's going to be a lot of back and forth of quotes in the press. We're also going to talk about a couple interviews, and I will link them in my Insta story if you want to watch them. Let's go. It starts December 2004. Kim appears on Friday Night with Jonathan Ross, and she admits that money was part of the reason why the show ended. Quote, I felt after 6 years it was time for all of us to participate in the financial windfall of Sex and the City. When they didn't seem keen on that, I thought it was time to move on. In May of 2008, The Telegraph puts out an article, and they address the rumors. Back in season 2, Sarah Jessica Parker ended up getting an executive producer title, which raises her salary to about $300,000, allegedly. Cottrell gets word of this, and she tries to negotiate a higher salary. In that article, it said the girls would not even sit together during mealtimes on set because it was so much tension. Around this time, somebody asked Kim about how in 2004, it seemed like when they went to the Emmys that she was left on her own. And this is what she has to say about it. Quote, are we best friends? No, we're professional actresses and we have our own separate lives. In the exact same report, Sarah Jessica is asked, and she says, quote, honestly, we are all friends and I wish I saw more of Kim. She mentioned money and no one should vilify her for it. People made a decision that we vilified her. This year of 2008, basically they're just like blaming the media. You guys are making the feud up. Sarah Jessica Parker even said, and in 2009, New York Magazine enters the chat, saying these two don't speak anymore. Going even as far as saying they're no longer speaking is making everyone on set uncomfortable. If you don't know the timeline of the movies, Sex and the City 2 aired in 2010. But before it airs, Sarah Jessica Parker still denying, still blaming the media. Elle magazine asks her about it, and this is what she says. Quote, I don't think anybody wants to believe that I love Kim. I adore her. I wouldn't have done that movie without her. I didn't and wouldn't. Now, in 2010, it starts to waver a little bit where we're not just fully blaming the media. We're starting to take a little tiny bit of a responsibility for it. Sarah Jessica does an interview with Marie Claire and says, sometimes feelings get hurt. It hasn't always been smooth sailing, but still kind of tries to dismiss it a little bit, being like, oh, this is just people, pinning women against each other. Then in 2016, Sarah Jessica Parker goes on Howard Stern. I'll link it in my story. She seems super sincere. She kind of just says it's made up in the press. It says that it really, really upsets her, and she kind of unpacks and talks about that. But in 2017, they were going to have another movie come out. So in September, the Daily Mail reports that Warner Brothers can't move forward with the movie because Kim has demands. She says that she can't sign up for the movie unless they'll agree to like a few other movies. But Kim sees that and she's not having it. So she gets on the Bird app and she puts out a tweet and says that the only demand she made was that she wasn't going to do the movie. And that in 2016, when she was asked, she said, no, I'm not doing it. And honestly, this is where it starts to get spicy. Sarah Jessica says, that's it. We're not doing it. Okay. It's heartbreaking. October of 2017. Kim goes on Life Stories with Piers Morgan in what I can only describe as a very cringy interview. But I did take a couple notes, and this is what I wrote down. She repeated over and over again, Sarah Jessica Parker could have been nicer. Sarah Jessica could have been nicer. She 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 said it 1,000 times. She also said she never asked for money, which we're seeing right now. We're seeing the quotes. So I don't know about that one. I also wrote down bizarre. So I don't know. You go to the stories. You got to watch this one. If you don't watch the others, watch this one. And then boom, February 2018, Sarah Jessica Parker goes on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. And Andy Cohen asked about it. And again, Sarah Jessica Parker just talks about how upset she was that she said that. She really didn't feel like she was ever unkind to her. She even says Andy, as soon as it happened, I talked to you. I was very upset. And then we barely hear anything about it ever again. And then boom, that series happens. And when it does, she makes a couple little scenes. She's not there all the time. I don't think they filmed together or anything like that. She filmed on her own, but she was in it. Even kind of promoted it a little bit. Whenever was asked about the feud, she kind of just was like, the press. What really happened here? It's too much. My apologies that it took so long. But you really had to know it all. Go watch those videos, I'm telling you. See you back for 24. Somehow, it's day 24 out of 25. And we are here to talk about what happened with Johnny Depp's business partner that went missing right around the time that he was suing Johnny Depp over financial stuff with the Viper Room. This is Anthony Fox, and he was a co-owner of the Viper Room with Johnny Depp. If you're not familiar with the Viper Room, it was and still is a bar It was once owned by Johnny Depp. It is no longer. Some say it was a little cursed. And in 2001, the co-owner sued Johnny Depp. So according to all the information I could find, Anthony Fox was claiming that Johnny Depp stiffed him out of some money when it came to the Viper Room. So some accounts say he was definitely going to lose the case, but right before court, he just straight up disappeared. He left thousands of dollars in his bank account. He never used his credit card or anything involving his bank ever again. He left behind a teenage daughter and just disappeared. As you can see here, he's still missing. In 2004, Johnny Depp gave up his shares, his half of the business, to his family, to Anthony Fox's family, and then the Fox family sold it off to 2 other people. So Johnny Depp and this guy, they don't own any of it anymore. But what happened to Anthony Fox? Where did he go? What happened? Like, there's literally no details on it. What happened? It's the day we say goodbye to this series. It's day 25 out of 25. And today we're going to be talking about the most puzzling one. I saved the most puzzling one for last. We know very, very little information about what happened. To the best of my knowledge, this happened in 2022. If you know differently, please let me know. Drake Bell tweeted this and then deleted this. And it said, "You want the real truth about what went on behind the orange curtain? You want the stories that will crush an entire network? Give me a call." And then he tagged Simon & Schuster, the book publishers. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that it was about Dan Schneider, who's had a lot of allegations, a lot of rumors about this guy. He worked for the Orange Kid Network, but nobody really knows what Drake Bell was talking about. Could have been anything. What does it mean? What went on behind the orange curtain? Just give us a little hint. Just tell us a tiny bit about what happened. What do you mean crush an entire network? What do you mean? I'm so sad this is over, but thanks for listening to me for 25 days.